I have got a PhD in life. I'm spending my whole weekend in my pajamas, and I'm not doing shit. You don't pay my bills or suck my dick, so like, what do I care what some random person on the internet thinks of me? A new year, new me. You gotta have some fun. God, Tim, everything you touch just like is amazing. And I want to tell that person, no the fuck it's not. I'm only trying to make one fucking person happy, and that's Tim Castleman. Don't look now, but 2 drink Tim is dead. What? Tim, this is Tim Talks. I know. But this is my way of telling people that I can no longer drink at a responsible level like I used to. And now, when I have vodka Red Bulls, they keep me up till 5 a.m. and then give me hangovers for 2 days. Okay. Is there a reason why we're whispering? No. Is it to pay tribute to the Migos dude who got shot at a bowling alley, playing dice? No, I don't think the Migos were the whisper guys. Let me whisper in your ears. I think they were the Yin Yang twins. Okay, let's bring this back up to regular level. Forget all of that. It was just a little internal dialogue. Good news, ladies and gentlemen. We're back and back with a vengeance. Now, to you, you're going, well, of course you're back, Tim. You haven't missed a date. You're like the dude, the quarterback, Russell Wilson. You're like Mr. Unlimited. No, Mr. Reliable. Sure, whatever it may be to you, you're going, well, this doesn't seem any different, Tim. Tell me what you mean, baby. Tell me what's going on. I'm so confused. Help me out here. Well, for a quick recap, at the beginning of 2022, I decided I wanted to start a podcast again. Start a brand new podcast. Wanted to make sure I did it, so I did it in silence and recorded 29 episodes. I was going to record an episode every week and then release it basically a year later. So January of 2022's recording would be dropped in 2023. We waited till October, and then my editor, who's editing this and I love tremendously, was like, hey, you're an idiot. You should be releasing these in real time. And I was like, oh, you have a point there. So for all of October and even the beginning of November, we dropped a brand new episode every single day-o, right? And then starting now, this is the inaugural one. We'll be dropping it once a week. I have an idea to do it on Thursdays. If someone else has a better idea, let me know. And at most, hopefully, there will only be, this will only be a week behind instead of a year behind, because I got to give my editor some time to edit and, do all that stuff. I'm not Tom Segura. I don't have a full-time staff. We're doing this as best we can with the resources that we currently have available. Speaking of resources available, I only have 1 bar left on the battery, so I might as well make this one count and make it quick. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I have an announcement, and that is Sad Boy Summer is officially over. We made it. We made it to the cool time of the year. The weather's starting to get a little nipply, and for us in Texas, that means down in the 70s and 60s. It's going to be Thanksgiving and 70 degrees out, I have no doubt. So it looks like we're in for a mild winter, which is great, but this is fat boy season. This is when I shine. This is when I bring it all for the love of the game. This is when I can wear layers, or like I am now, wearing a hoodie. Now, you may think, well, Tim, you've mentioned that you wear a hoodie all the time. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. All I'm saying is I don't have to worry about letting my titties fly because it's so fucking cold or so warm that I got to take it off, right? I can just be myself. I can be that cuddly teddy bear that's going to hold you, keep you warm during these cold months. Ooh, baby, you chilly? Come get this body heat, right? Things are going well. I will also say this. Don't listen to every single podcast I record because I'm not a flaming narcissist. But I did listen to the last one, and holy shit, was that sad and depressing. I am so glad we pulled that thing out of a nosedive because, man, it seemed like it was getting fucking dark. Like, I'm not even going to lie. I listened to that podcast. It took me like 2 days to be like, do I want to listen? I mean, it's my own fucking podcast. And I was like, do I want to even record another one of these? Like, I was going to call somebody on me. That's how bad that last podcast sounded. Luckily for both of us, the dawn of a new day has begun. Yay! So, I'm sure I'll be telling you lots of stuff. In the meantime, I gotta adjust this because this 1 bar of battery. I just want to make sure we don't lose out on any of the amazingness that I say. Okay, so let's fucking catch up. It was a couple weeks after my last trip, which was London. Then we went, and we're doing high-level stuff here. Then we went to Funnel Hacking Live, and that is where things started to shift. The permafrost started to melt a little bit. And again, Sad Boy Summer was officially coming to an end. I always find that live events reinvigorate and re-energize and give me something to motivate me, to jumpstart the year and stuff like that. And this year's Funnel Hacking Live was no exception, right? Not only was it great, 4 days of great mental content to help get your mind right, but it also was customers coming up to me and saying, hey, Tim, I'm on your list. I need you to mail me more. Hey, Tim, I'm on your list. I want you to sell me more stuff so I can support you. Hey, Tim, let me help get you joint venture partners. Hey, Tim, why don't you work with this joint venture partner and let those who love and support you and help you become the best version of yourself? What? Well, wait a minute. How does this work? Because in my brain, I thought everyone hated me as much as I hated me. I thought my customers didn't really like my emails. They didn't buy my shit. They didn't this, they didn't X, they didn't Y, they didn't Z. And it turns out I was dead wrong. Turns out my customers do like me. JVs do like me. People do like me. I'm actually a decent dude, according to several people. And I was super happy to hear that. So that was very nice to hear. By the way, quick little thank you as of this recording. I want to thank the 3 gangsters who went over and left me a review. That means the world to me. Your comments, your reviews, they're like oxygen. They keep me going, right? And I've had a lot of people reach out going, Tim, keep going, keep going, keep going. So we are going to keep going with this mofo, which was always planned, but I got a little hitch in my giddy up. Got a little step, feeling good, feeling like I just got my hair cut, right? Trimmed my nose hairs, made sure my ear hair was at a respectable level, and then I'm out on the street on the prowl. I don't have any idea what that means, but we're going with that terrible fucking analogy, right? Things are better. We're not out of the woods, but we are progressing in the right direction. And according to therapy, I should take every step with a humility and a gracefulness and a humbleness not yet shown by those who are not written about in the Bible, according to somebody smarter than me, I'm sure. Look, shit was dark. Shit still ain't daytime great, but it's not as bad as it was, and I don't feel nearly as hopeless as I did a few months ago. So we are counting that as a win, and we're just going to keep marching on because I'm having the time of my life. And you're going, well, Tim, what the fuck changed? How'd you do it? Teach us your secrets. And I will tell you, you need to go to therapy for 10 years and they still won't help you and just tell you what's wrong with you. They're like, well, what do you think's wrong with you? And you're like, I think I'm paying you a lot of fucking money to tell me what is wrong with me and give me the steps to fix it. And you got me on this choose your own adventure path with a crown mapped A couple things occurred listening to some old episodes. And then we'll get into the, how we change shit and stuff like that. One, definitely could tell, still bitter, still angry about the divorce, not as much, but the court case. Like when I listened to some of those early episodes, I was like, holy shit, man. Like you need a hug. I'm still angry and bitter about those things, but I'm trying very hard to move forward and just focus on the future because we can't change the past, no matter how much we would like to invent a time machine, right? To go back to where they were like, we're going to give judges the right to do whatever with no oversight. I would like to change that law right there, right? But we move forward. We look at the happiness things. Timmy's got a girl. What? Maybe, possibly, someone that he's seeing on a regular and consistent basis where all signs point to it being the appearance of a healthy relationship. Huh? Okay. All right, business is not booming, but it's going. We made $1 last month, so I'm really happy about that we actually made $1. And, hopefully we'll continue to add to it, and we'll make $2 and $3 and $4. Hell, I might even splurge and say we'll be up to $5 per month here real soon. Went to the event. Great event. Funnel Hacking Live, right? Not heavy on the tactics, not heavy on that stuff, heavy on the mental stuff that gets your mind right. And I know you go, well, that's bullshit, Tim. I don't want it. That's what you need. That's the medicine you need to make you not be so sick in the head and make you, healthy, right? And I get it. It's tough when you're struggling and you need money right freaking now. It's tough to be like, well, in the long-term game, you need to make sure that your mental and your marketing game are on point. So this message does not apply to people that are listening to this, huddled around a fire outdoors in front of a homeless shelter, right? If you're like, I need to make $10 today so my lights don't go off tomorrow, you've waited too long to address the problem. My advice to you is to go get a second job. Seriously, if it's to the point where they're cutting shit off and you're about to lose everything and you don't have resources, like you don't have an email list, the products, blah, 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 blah. If you're just like, I want to start this new venture from a total place of lack and a total place of, desperation, it's not going to work for most people. And it's not going to be very fun for all people, right? I'm not here to put limits on your joy and your journey. All I would say is that you're coming from a place of, you're coming from a weak position. Okay. So a lot of people there at Funnel Hacking Live, I'm sure, not a lot. I'm sure there were some people there that were like, I'm sleeping in the car. I'm making peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. I don't knock that hustle at all. I respect the shit out of it. Just know you got an uphill journey, right? For the people that are actually have some business sense and are existing business owners, I thought Funnel Hacking Live was great. Again, help get my mind right, help hear me talk, and most importantly, listen to some super successful marketers. And by and large, 99% of the game, they said, was mental. And as I continue along this path, it's great that I have these marketing tactics and strategies and all these things. But if you don't have your mental game right, I think you got a problem there. And I've harped on that, and I'll continue to harp on that till the day I die. Now, that's where it stops because I'm not a therapist. You should seek therapy. If you have questions you want the non-therapist to answer, a.k.a. me, shoot them to me. Contact timcastleman@gmail.com. Contact timcastleman@gmail.com. It's not done yet, but we are in the process of setting up timtalks.com. Timtalks.com. That's where you can catch old episodes of the podcast, and anything else that we throw out. That will be the central hub, if you will, for the rest of my this journey going forward. To be the podcast hub, probably make it my primary blog. We'll put products on there, etc., etc. So we're building this stuff on the background. So what changed, Tim? What do you think changed? Well, I think I had a sad boy season, and you're allowed that. It's okay to grieve. It's okay to process that grief. It's okay to take time with that grief. Okay. But what I would tell you is if you're still grieving something 4, 5, 6, God forbid, 10 plus years later, there's a bigger issue there. You got to go back to the doctor so they can find out, what they left in from the first surgery. Meaning that there's just some shit you got to work on. Nothing wrong with that. You're using all the tools you have at your disposal right now to do the best you can. You just need more tools, or you need to utilize the tools you have in a different way. And therapy can help that. Have I mentioned that, by the way? Let's go with our first unofficial sponsor, Not BetterHelp. NotBetterHelp.com reminds you that you should talk to an actual therapist, not one that you can text like a drinking buddy being like, hey, you up, right? The event changed. Hearing from my customers and the fact that they like the podcast, they like my products, they like me, that gave me some confidence, right? What else? Realizing that no matter what, I was probably going to survive. Yes, it may suck. Yes, it does suck right now. It's really painful every time I make a mortgage payment because I look at it and go, well, if a certain judge, had gotten off his knees and not blown the prosecuting attorney so deep, right, I could have a totally debt-free lifestyle and XYZ. But I can't go back. I can't change the past. And according to the Daily Stoic, this month, November, is all about acceptance. So I accept the fact that I lost the case begrudgingly, and I say that shit gritting my teeth. I accept the fact that I will never know exactly how it was that things got so fucked up. And I also accept the fact that unless I want to spend the rest of my life in a 9x7 cell, right, and giving interviews through 12-inch thick plexiglass, that I probably can't seek the type of justice I would like, not only for the court system and the people involved there, but for the person that decided to sue me in the first place. So it's really disappointing when you got to take that L, and it's really upsetting when you just have to accept it and go, all right, well, to be a productive member of society and not inmate number 97432, we're just going to move on as if we didn't get fucked over by all parties involved, right? And I think that helped a little bit. I think it helps a little bit with the anger, although it does still pop up. And more importantly, I don't know. If you're struggling, you got to find what's going to help you thrive again. That's not like this. It's not even thrive, guys. It's not even thrive. It really is about what's just going to help get you going, make you laugh, get you excited, do something that's fun and enjoyable to you. And if it's enjoyable to you and you only. Like, I really enjoy this podcast. I enjoy the way that we did it to get it started, and I'm going to enjoy recording it now live for you guys. And, I'll have the team look at the responses and the feedback, and we'll make adjustments if I feel necessary. But I enjoy doing that in silence instead of coming out and be like, here's my big ass goal that I want to tell everybody about. It's like, no, let's make sure we can do this for us first. So someone told me, I don't know if this is true or not, but if you record over 7 episodes, you're like in the top 5% of podcast longevity wise. So according to people that don't know anything, and I'm just accepting it because they told me it via an instant messenger chat on the internet, I'm in the top 5% already, right? I mean, I want to be talking to you plebes in a matter of months. I'm sure I'll be flying private. I'm sure I won't be on a Greyhound bus. I'm sure, I just know it. I know one day I'm going to wake up, there'll be a DM from Joe Rogan being like, hey, you up? I'm like, I am. He's like, look, I'm having a little rough go with the Joe Rogan experience. We're only getting 11 million listens per download. I was wondering if you would like to come on and talk about whatever it is the fuck you talk about to help rescue me. And I'd be like, Joe, I don't rescue people anymore. But it would be my honor to walk alongside of you in battle. I will not say that. Joe Rogan is not reaching out, right? Hell, I can't even get people in my own industry probably to reach out about this podcast. At least not right now, and that's fine, because I don't want to do an interview podcast all the time. I'm going to throw some heavy hitters in on you. I already got some interviews, planned and baked in the brain, but this is my podcast to talk about my life and adventures and business and life and all of those great things. So I went to Funnel Hacking Live. That was a really great inspirational time. It is every year. I'm so grateful that I get to go and attend every year, not just for the mental health training and the mindset stuff and all that. It's just good to connect with people. And this time it was especially good because I felt very loved and nurtured. And clearly my weary soul and tired body needed that. So we get back from Funnel Hacking Live. We, of course, do our launch for the notes. That goes well, all things considered. Not a slight to anybody. This was the first year where I did 100% just outsourced in terms of like, okay, I need someone to write the copy. I need someone to send the emails. I need someone to do the customer service. I've always had the amazing Ava, all that stuff. But now I just basically outsourced it, and it was probably the most stress-free launch that I've ever done. So I'm excited with the A-team that I assembled for that, and hopefully we'll continue to work together in the future. My plan is for us to do that. So that went really good. And then I was like, well, what do I do? And the thing I liked about that launch, just to be clear, was I liked that it was clean. It was like the front end product was the notes. The back end product was more notes. You like these notes? Yes, buy them. You want more notes? Yes, buy those as well, right? And then that was it. There was no, let's talk afterwards. Here's a coaching program. It was just clean, baby. Clean as a whistle. And I enjoy that because that freed me up to do other things and think about other things without thinking like, oh my God, I have to deliver in a monthly fashion. Oh my God, how's that going to happen? I don't understand. What it allowed me to do was just say, hey, what's the next thing you want to do? And I thought, you know what? We got the event in September, October. We're going to drop all the podcast episodes. So I spent all of October just promoting the podcast. Now, I did it my own unique, fun way. I think it's you, right? It's unique because I said it's you. I did it my own fun way, which is I hired a friend to take some crazy photos of me and post them all on the internet every day, embarrassing myself over and over and over, even though I was secretly laughing and loved them, just to promote the podcast, to get it out there. Now we start going into from sad boy season to cold boy season, right? We switch out the lightweight hoodie for the heavyweight hoodie. We do all of this so that we can continue marching on towards the end of the year. And I don't have a long-term, here's this coaching program. Like, again, I have some ideas. I got some things rolling around in the head. But what I like right now is clean surgical precision, AKA small things that we can do to keep the momentum going until we find something where we're like, this is what we should be doing forever. This is the thing that is the holy grail. I'll tell you what's not the holy grail, product photography. Product photography can kiss my ass. Speaking of kissing my ass, my doctor's calling me. Be right back. I take it all back. She was a sweetheart. Got a little billing issue. Did you know, by the way, if you go to a doctor and you go, hey, I want to pay cash, they normally give you like a 60% discount. Well, they did that this time, but then they tried to bill me for the other 40%. And I had to explain to a multinational conglomerate company that what happened was I paid the cash to get the discount. I paid the cash. You didn't give me the discount. They were like, oh, that appears to be on us. So they got it taken care of. Hopefully, fingers crossed, big up to Jesus that it gets done, right? Where were we? Small surgical precision. And most, I would say, the thing that I have done post Funnel Hacking Live is accept and learning to accept this is who I am instead of always changing it. For instance, right now, I have no notes written down. I just hit record. I was like, I think I want to talk about this topic. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, bam, in it, right? What I typically do is I go, oh, hey, that thing worked really well. Where you're able to talk now for 21 minutes without any notes, directions, just letting your crazy brain do what it's always done and produce the results. But typically what happened is, okay, that's cool, but what if I did like a daily breakdown of a show? I was trying to wear other people's clothes and live other people's lives because I would look at that and go, I want that. Oh, that looks good. Oh, that looks good. Instead of being like, you know what? What do I want? What makes me laugh? For instance, those hilarious photos that I love, I've had people reach out to me and be like, well, dude, what are you doing? Why are you posting those photos? You're fat as shit and you're wearing a belly midriff shirt and cut off jorts and you're standing out in front of a 1992 Isuzu Rodeo that's broken down in your driveway. Like, what in the fuck are you doing? And I'm like, I am having the time of my life. I laughed hysterically during that, so much so that I'm already planning the next round of photos. That makes me happy. So I want to do the things that make me happy and also differentiate me from other people in the process, which is great. Because I don't think Frank Kern's going to get out there with one of Natalie's shirts and be like, hey, it's my supermodel wife's shit. You want it, right? I think a lot of that is listening to that inner voice and then trusting that inner voice and being like, you know what you're doing. You're having fun doing it. Just do it. If you don't like it, that's okay. There's like 8 billion, close to 9 billion people in this world. We'll just put you in the does not like category. And then we'll only have 7.999999999999999 billion more people to go through. As my dogs apparently want to fight in the background. That's good. You know, there's nothing more relaxing than recording a podcast on, a Wednesday afternoon only to have, maybe my dogs are German. Maybe they heard the 9999 and I like activated a sleeper cell. Are you guys Manchurian candidate dogs or just the lazy ones that killed a bird and lick your asshole right in front of me all the time? Which ones? Okay, looks like we're safe. Whew. Thought I activated a sleeper cell in my house by the 9999, So, I want to do what I enjoy doing. I want to do it the way that I want to do it. And I want to have fun in the process. And whatever happens, happens. I think we got 1,000 downloads of this podcast in the first month. Close. Maybe it was like 800, right? Of course, I would love it to be 1,800 billion people more. But I'm so thankful for the 800 people that did listen. Yes, we only currently have 3 reviews on Apple, the podcast charts or whatever. Yeah, that sucks. I would love to have more, but I'm so grateful for the 3 people that took the time out there. So it is just a lot of like having gratitude for every step that you take, even though it may not be the perfect thing. There's so many thoughts going into this, right? Dan Kennedy said something at the event that kind of was like, oh, hey, that's true. And then another speaker, which I tease her because she's going to be my future ex-wife, number 3. But she was good as a good reminder. So what Dan Kennedy said was, Christy, hold on one second. Morel, is that her name? Yeah, I think so. Okay, so Dan Kennedy and Christine Morel were the 2 speakers that kind of I learned something from. One from Dan Kennedy, he said, you're going to run something and you're going to get a number. And you're not going to be happy with that number, and you're going to put all this emotional attachment to that number when, in fact, it's just a number. So, when you drop something new, like we're getting ready to release another new project because Can't Stop, Won't Stop, right? Whatever number we get is just a number. It's just telling us, hey, 1 out of 10, this is the number where we're at. If we want to improve, then we got to get closer to 10. If we're okay with it, we stay still. If it sucks and we get a 0, it's just a number. It's just telling us, hey, you missed the mark this time. We are the ones that put and project all of our feelings onto that thing. Well, it must mean they don't like me. It must mean this. It must mean, it must mean, it must mean, it must mean, it must mean. Instead of just being like, hey, you know what it is? It's just a number, and it's telling me I need to do better or worse based upon that number. So that was huge for me just to look at stuff now and just go, hey, this is a number. Like, I'm doing this podcast regardless of the outcome because I want to do the podcast. So that's one. Number 2 that it taught me, and this was Christine's thing. She does all these funny videos. She's actually from Hobbs, New Mexico, and she was a great presenter, but she did all these funny, wacky videos. She sold over $1 million, and I was like, hey, I like doing funny and wacky stuff. I've always thought about doing it, but I've let my pride and ego and what will people think of me stop me, and I was like, well, I don't want to do that anymore. What I want to do is just do what I want to do, as long as it's not illegal or immoral, and enjoy the process. So that's when you get the photo shoot with me, in the midriff shirt. That's when you start getting just more of who I want to be and who I am, and being okay with that. And I think that's absolutely huge. Now, look, I'm not saying it's the most successful way. If I wanted to be Mr. Business, right? That's what they call him behind his back. Russell Brunson and Ryan Dice and Jason Fladlin and all these guys that make millions and millions and millions of dollars a year. I have to change who I am to accomplish that. Well, do I want to do that? No. Or am I just happy saying, hey, I'm having fun. I'm doing what I want to do with this. And as a result of that, we're going to let the cards and chips, whatever the analogy is, fall where they may. It's got to be cards, right? Because it wouldn't be chips. We'll let the chips fall where they lay. It's like, yeah, well, of course you will, because you put them into the center there. So, Christine, if you ever hear this, thank you so much for your presentation. It was just a good, nice little reminder there. You still have not accepted my friend request, and it's going to be really hard for us to fall in love with each other and get married if you can't even be bothered to accept my friend request. So if you could just accept my friend request so that you and I can begin the worldwide romance that is going to be our story, our Hallmark movie channel, I would greatly appreciate it. And if you could also not contact the police at the same time doing that after hearing this, that would be beneficial to both of us as well. So, yeah, I feel happier. I'm doing things that I enjoy. I am not attaching an outcome to them so that I can just be like, hey, all right, we're going to do this podcast and see what happens. Not, oh my God, I recorded an episode of the podcast and there are not 50 million people listening to it, and as a result, I must quit. It's like everything built takes time. And we're just getting prepared and we're ready for the opportunity when the opportunity presents itself. I was talking to a friend yesterday, very successful comic, and he was talking about how 5 years ago he wanted it bad, but now he's grateful that he has it now because he has so much more to give. He's got back catalogs of content and everything. So when people find him, there's deep resources behind them to further go down the rabbit hole versus being like, did you like that? I'm gonna come up with another one in another year type thing. So by and large, things are much, much better. Right? The podcast has been released to the wild. You're listening to it, hopefully on a weekly basis. If you'd be so kind to like and subscribe, that'd be amazing. If you'd even take the time to leave a review, I would be honored beyond words and thankful for your comments and your feedback. And I will continue to provide a wacky and zany look inside my head and hopefully a look inside the business. I will do a future episode if someone reminds me about the Funnel Hacking Live launch. I can go in depth in that. We can talk more about the mental health stuff if you guys want to. It really is a choose your own adventure that I get to pick every time that I hit record. So I'm extremely grateful for your time, your attention. Appreciate you guys listening. And as always, we'll try to do better next time.